Hi guys, this outfit was made for my birthday photo shoot a few days ago, and it really was too lovely to just pass up without showing you part of the process for making this outfit. If this is something you would like to learn, please keep watching. You're welcome to Sew Junkies. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the pattern for the blouse. The skirt, I'm just going to assume you already know how to do that. So here I'm just marking out my nipple to nipple line on this at this point. I'm just going to mark it straight down, and I'm going to join all the points that I did. My nipple to nipple line or bust span measurement is 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5, which is what I just imputed here. It's really a nice outfit, and right now beading is the in thing, so you can make an outfit with simple beading techniques, which is what I'll be showing you in this video. So the next thing I'm doing, I'm just marking out a 3/4 of an inch on either side of my nipple line, So that's what I did. I marked it on the waistline, and I also marked it at the down of bust line. So don't forget, if you have any complications with this, you can always refer to our basic bodies, where I showed you how you can actually manipulate your basic bodies to any outfit, any design or style line that you want. So for this, I'm just converting my normal basic pattern to a breast tube or a tube blouse. So this tube blouse also has a yoke, so please just follow me. And then I'm just curving out the pattern to the nipple line. We have shoulder to nipple and we have nipple to nipple. So the horizontal line is the shoulder to nipple line, where we draw out our side dart. So the side dart measurement I used is 1 inch. Then from that down or bust line, I just measured my cup measurement, my BC, call it BC, breast cup measurement, and it landed at 2 inches above my armhole. Then the next thing, to just tighten that top part in order to avoid gaping, I use 1/4 of an inch. Don't forget, these are side that will later be transferred to that point at the top of my chest, above my chest line. So this point I'm marking is my cuffed point. It wasn't deep enough. Later I figured it wasn't deep enough, but if you want something very deep, you have to go a bit below your armhole line. That way the curve shows very well. I loved the outcome of it. What I could have changed is to add an extra deepness, an extra depth to that 1.5 inch that I went up. I would have gone down a bit, but nevertheless, you saw the outfit. It looked nice on me, and I definitely liked the outcome. So other future project, I might consider going deeper. So I'm just going to label my measurement as yoke so that we don't get that mix up. So I'm cutting out the yoke part so that by the time I'm done working with the yoke, I'll just set it aside and then focus on the main the other part of the front bodies. So here I'm just measuring out what I had there so I can replace it at the armhole, because once you sew that out, that automatically goes out of the armhole, thereby causing a shortage. It might make your entire outfit at that armhole a bit snaggling or tight, if you may. So I just added that part to it to avoid that error. So once I'm done cutting that, I just cut out all the necessary part, the shoulder slant and the neckline, and then I'll set it aside so I can properly work on the other part of the bodies. So please, this is, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. We're here and we'll definitely give you response to all of your concerns. Here I'm just putting my measurement and I added allowance to all of it. So that's what I did. I'm going to put the necessary measurement at each of the sides, the down of bust, the bust, the waist, and all of the measurement as you please. Don't forget the measurement are divided by 4. That's 1/4 of your entire measurement. If your hip, your bust, your hip is 38, divided by 4 is 9.5. So that's just what I'm doing here. Then I added necessary seam allowance. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It will mean a whole lot to us, and you definitely benefit from the blessings, from the good things that are happening on this channel, because we are having a goal of gradually increasing our wardrobe with trendy designs and outfits. So now I'm done cutting out all the unnecessary parts. So I'm going to open that chest dart so that I can open the side dart and transfer that side dart to it. If you don't cut out the chest dart, you will not be able to transfer the side dart. So that's a logical thing that I know and hope that you understand. So I'm done. I'm just going to close it up with a tape. You can see now that side dart has disappeared, and that is the difference between your shoulder to waist front and shoulder to waist back. If you like, you can actually test it out. Take a rope and tie to your waist, measure from shoulder to your waist front, and ask someone to actually also measure your shoulder to your back waist. You see that there's a difference. Whatever difference you have is what we put at that side dart of the front. By transferring it, it makes the back and the front to equal automatically without giving the back unnecessary budges. So now we're done with the markings. We're just cutting out all the unnecessary parts like the dart intake. So we're done. Please just cut out in a way that your pattern is nice and smooth. It doesn't have any sharp point. So I just marked out my pattern so I will know and I don't confuse them, because really you might think you are a pro until when you are sewing that unmarked patterns, then you see that it is not as easy as you think. So we're done with the front pattern. We're going to set this aside, all of these patterns aside, and then we're going to focus on the back. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm marking out the zip allowance. For this pattern, I'm not doing corset lacing back. So if you are doing lacing back, all well and good. I'm not doing a lacing back. I'm doing a zipper blouse. So the first thing I always do is to mark out the zipper allowance. That way that I start working from that zipper allowance to the entire thing. So here I'm marking the waistline, and then I'm marking the full length of my blouse, the full length of my blouse. That's what I'm doing. So I'm just straightening out all of my measurements, making sure they are nice and easy for you to see. So I'm marking out my half armhole, my bust measurement with the allowance, and then I'm just creating the curve. So please work with your curve rule where necessary. It reduces the unnecessary guessings. So here I added the dart allowance before adding the seam allowance. There I added my hip measurement, or wherever the blouse will actually stop, you can take the measurement of that point. That way you know that you are not having any excesses or any unnecessary bulkiness for the blouse. So the length I took for the back blouse is 22, and the length that I took for the front blouse is 23. So by the time I adjusted the side dart, it became equal. So here I'm just marking out all that I needed, the dart allowance. I'm just marking it out, and for the purpose of this style, I'm cutting out the dart for this bag. Usually I just take in the dart when necessary, and that's all I do. But because of this tutorial, I just wanted a cutout instead, so I did not just take in the dart, I cut it out just like I cut out the front dart. So as you can see, I'm done. So from the neckline, I marked out 2 inches. Inches, and then I ruled it in straight, and then whatever I have from that, for that dart line, I marked it up as well, drew a straight line, and then did my style line. So you've seen a lot of different styles, back styles for blouses like this on social media, on fashion programs. You can definitely choose whichever you want. So you saw how mine looked, and it looked great, right? So that's how I did it. So I'm just cutting what I have out. So for this back pattern, I'll be having 3 pieces, just like the front. Do you understand? Now I've separated out the back yoke. I'm cutting out the excess at the zip allowance side, and then I'm cutting out the style line. So I'm also doing the same thing, placing my markings on the back. So you can see I wrote A and B, so I'm cutting out the dart as well for this bag. So it's easy if you just go ahead and follow this video. Ask questions where necessary. As you can see, I flipped it, but because of the marking, I had to change it, and that arrow is to show you that this is the upper part and that's the other side. So that it is just that easy. This is all of my patterns fully laid out for you. So please, if you have questions so far, please ask. If you're subscribing, please do that fast, and if you're liking, please smash the like buttons. So I've cut out the fabric. I'll also cut out the interfacing for the front, then I'll cut out lining for the front. So that's about it. Basically, I use about 2.5 yards for this entire work. So here I'm showing you how I cut out the style line. For this part, I went down from the waist by 2 inches, and for this other side, I went down by 3 inches. Then I just drew out my style line. So the style line can be in any design that you want, but this was how I did mine. It was easy and easy to straight. So I marked out the fabric left and right. You can see that it is marked out L and arrow. So on the left hand side, I took out 2 inches. I marked out 2 inches at that seam allowance side, and I just curved it out, whereas the right hand, I did not touch it. So you just go ahead to do the sewing. You just go ahead and do your sewing the way you would want it. And here I'm just showing you how I did this simple beading. I used broken beads for this particular beading work. Broken beads, that's what I used. I bought half pack for about 3,500, and I also bought some crystals size 4 to mix it up with. So I'll take 10 pieces of broken beads. You can see we have beading needles. You don't use your normal tailoring needles. We have beading needles. So I picked 10 seed beads, sew it to the cloth, pick a little part of the fabric on the cloth, sew it on the cloth, then picked another 10 again, sew it on the cloth, pick another 10 again, sew it on the cloth, then I pick 1 crystal bead. So like I repeated the seed bead in batches, 10 in a batch of 10, then I did it 3 times, then I added a crystal bead, then I repeated the same thing again. So all I was doing is I was trying to, I marked out the lines first by half inch. I just marked it out, then I started sewing on each of the lines. I had help, but it's something that you can do if you have the time, but you can give it to a beader to actually work. So this is the up close of the beading work. For the middle part, that's what I did. I took 10 again, 10 again, 3 times, then I took a crystal bead. That's how we did this particular bead work. And then when I'm turning at the upper part, I just like, it's a creative process, and your creativity will definitely play out here. So whichever way, but I'm just telling you that the beading needle I used was the smallest one. The beads that I used was a broken bead. I used the smallest beading rope for it, beading thread. And for this skirt part, I use a teardrop bead. I got one piece for 50 naira. So one piece for 50 naira. And so for the skirt, the first thing is I marked out squares. You can see how the markings show very, very well. So you can do a marking of 3 inches by 3 inches. You can see the boxes. All these boxes I'm going to fill with this teardrop bead with crystal. So I'm going to take 2 crystal first, take 1 teardrop bead, and then take another 2 crystal beads, sew it to the cloth and tie a knot. That's all. Very easy. Once you are done attaching the beads, just take a piece of cloth, wet it and just clean it up, and you're done. This outfit was really lovely and it came out nice. We are really very glad that you were with us today. See you soon on our next video. Bye. I love you.